Hello, this is Valerie Revels, and today I will be discussing using the Windows 8.1 interface on my Lumia, my Microsoft Lumia 640 LTE with the Denim update. If you look at the screen, you'll see that my home screen is up. It's pretty colorful. The Windows operating system uses tiles, which really help in customizing your experience with the phone. If we go through a few of the tiles, just to give you an idea, if we look at the first tile, it has AT&T and then a phone icon. This tells me I can make phone calls, answer phone calls, check my voicemail, so it's pretty handy, and it says my carrier is AT&T. Below there, on the left, is the icon for text messaging. So I can send text messages, I can receive text messages, and I can check my history of text messages, and I can create draft messages to send later. Now, the tile next to the phone icon is my calendar. And if you'll see, I put in some information about what I wanted to do every day. I always recheck back. Now if I tap the three dots on the right, there's more information about tasks and settings and agenda, and looking at today, adding a new note or doing a different view. So let's go back to our home screen. Now the next tile is a live tile, and that is my weather tile. I check that daily to see what the weather's going to be like, not only in Garden Grove, but also in Paris and Port Hueneme and Oakland. So it comes in pretty handy. As you can see, it moves, and it updates, I think it's every 10 minutes because the weather changes. Now, next to the SMS tile is the battery saver. This is a pretty important tile because it tells you just how much battery your apps are eating up with your phone. Now I like this. It shows the different apps and the percentage of usage of the battery that they use. And you can notice it has Internet Explorer not allowed. That means it's not allowed to run in the background. But I let Evernote run. So if we look at our settings, we see that the battery is at 100%, and that I always keep the battery saver functionality on, because even though it's good to have more power, it's also good to save your battery life when you can. I could have changed it and gotten more power and only had the battery saver kick in when it was under 20% power, but that's pretty much my choice, and it's yours too. Now if we go back to the home screen, and you'll see another live tile that's pretty important is the data sense. Now the data sense shows how much data that you have on your plan with your carrier. In my case, I've used 1/10 of a gigabyte in my plan so far, which has 1.5 gigabytes for the month. And in another 10 days, my plan will renew. Now my usage is broken down by cellular, which is my data, and also by Wi-Fi. So you can see I use quite a bit of Wi-Fi. And Internet Explorer is probably the big hog here because I do a lot of web surfing. If we go down, and we see less and less usage of the data. So I kind of like this because this gives you an idea, so that let's say that if you have run out of data or you want to conserve data, these three dots to the right, all of a sudden you have map nearby Wi-Fi. And that helps because then you can find out if there's public hotspots and conserve your data. Now the next important live tile is the storage sense, which is right next to the data sense. And this is very important. the Lumia 640, like a number of phones like the 635, they only have 8 gigabytes of RAM. So it's not a lot if you're a gamer, or even if you use a lot of applications or apps. And since I'm not a gamer, but I do use a lot of applications, the storage sense, and also I use the internet, I have to really look at this. So the advantage of the Nokia and the Microsoft phones is that they allow you to move your apps and any attendant or data that's with those apps. You can move those to your removable SD card. And in this case, the phone can take up to 128 gigabyte SD card. And you can set where you want your apps and your music and your videos to go. So as you can see, my music, my videos, my photos, my apps, my downloads, I all have them going to my SD card. I have a 32 gigabyte SD card, which I haven't really used a lot of, but I have used over 7 gigabytes of data. So if I look at my SD card, my apps with the attendant data is over 2 gigabytes. My music is over 1.5 gigabytes, and I haven't even moved everything. My videos, almost 1 gigabyte. Downloads, temporary files, and other, which is a large portion. Now, in order to find out what these files are, you would have to attach your phone to your computer through a USB port, and then you can find out what these cards are, and these files are, and you can manage them. But having this SD card comes in very handy. The same thing with your phone. You can manage your apps there. So if I do there, you can manage, you can see what apps and what storage space they're taking up. Same thing with your phone. That's an idea. Let's show you. Let's say if I have music, I can manage my music. So a lot of the music that I have is not really Xbox. I actually have music from iTunes and Amazon and from my CDs. So this is music that I brought over to my phone. So let's go back. And the same thing with videos. You can manage your videos, you can delete burst photos. So it's really quite handy that you have this space on your card. Now, I should say not all videos or not all apps can be moved to the SD card, but quite a large number can. So just be aware that some apps may not want to be executed on those cards. Now, those are two of the really important live tiles. Now, another live tile which came in with the Denim update are these subfolders that are on your home screen. Now, if you notice, each one of these other tiles is like a single app or a single function. But these subtiles or subfolders, they have other apps inside of them. So the ones that I use quite often, I have on top, and so they're not in the subfolders because I use them daily, or they're so important that when I do use them, I have to get to them quickly. Now with these, I don't use them quite as often, and I don't have to get to them as quickly, but I want to have them available on the home screen, and I'll show you why. Let's say if I wanted to, let's say I swipe over, which takes me over to my applications. There's a Starbucks locator. Now I haven't used it, but I have installed it. Now instead of scrolling down, what I'll do is like one of these boxes with a letter or a number in it. I click there or tap there. I know Starbucks is an S. Takes me to the S's. There's my Starbucks locator. So, okay. Let's say I don't really want it in the app list, but I want it on the home screen, but I don't really use it that often. So what I'll do is I'll press the icon, and here it has Pin to Start. So when I tap that, it goes to my home screen. Now I don't use it that often, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in one of my subfolders. So I press again. Now I don't want it to stay the same size, so I'll tap the right arrow in the right down corner. And I'll move this, I'll take my finger and move it up, move it up, move it up into this subfolder. And when I tap, there it is. It's in my subfolder. So if I want to get to it again, I just go there. Now suppose I say, well, I want to use another app and I want to get rid of it. So I'll do the same thing, and where you have that pin in the right upper corner, that means unpin it from the start. So I'll just tap and it's gone. So it really helps you in not using a lot of home screen real estate when you want something available but you don't need it all the time. Now it looks like I've gotten kind of out of order, so I'm just going to move this up, and I'm going to move these and these up because I want my screen to look a little better than it does. Now you can, as I said, you can see all of these apps are here, and I can either go here and do my apps or go back here. Now not every tile is an app. Right here I have my Afghan okra. This is a recipe I just picked at random from my All Recipes app. So if I tap, this takes me back to that recipe and my All Recipes app. So I don't have to worry. And as you can see, I have my home, search, settings, and my share. If I do a share, Facebook, Twitter, so I don't worry about it. Now, this is OneNote. That goes to one of my notes, not the entire function, but OneNote in OneNote, which is kind of nice. Now suppose I wanted a web page. So here we are at Yahoo. So I decide that I want Yahoo to be on my home screen. So I'll tap those three dots and it says pin to start, and voila! I now have Yahoo on my home screen. So if I want to get to it quickly, I just tap and I'm back at Yahoo. But I'm finished, so I'll just go down here, press and hold, and then get rid of. So you can see there's quite a lot you can do to customize. I have my calculator. As you can see, the reason I have these as larger is because I want to get to them quickly. I don't want to think about them. These I pretty much know. This is Twitter, this is Internet Explorer. Let's see, I'll show you, like with my Twitter account, that comes up. And so what I want to do is I want to look at my Twitter homepage, and there I am with all my tweets, and I'll go back. So it comes in really handy that I can customize there's my public transit app that I use for buses and trains in Southern California and the Bay Area. So I like the fact that on this phone you can customize everything so that you don't have to keep swiping over to your applications. So it's really quite handy, and at some future date I'll probably cover some of the apps that you can use in being more constructive, or in some cases more productive. So I hope this helped you and gave you a little better idea of how the apps and the home screen work on my Lumia 640 Windows 8.1. Thanks. Goodbye.